Royal Rumble is coming up very soon, my friends, and even though WWE only realised last night on Raw, wait a minute, nobody's declared for the Royal Rumble, so everybody came out and declared for the Royal Rumble. We are now getting some stories thrown in place that are making my eyebrow raised. So we get to that Royal Rumble, of course we are going to have the two Royal Rumbles themselves, the men's and the women's, but I think there's going to be a lot of other chaos, and we may even see the end of AJ Styles, or his career. He's not going to end, hopefully not, that'd be way too bad. So we have some thoughts, my friends. You may call them hot takes. Like, share, subscribe. So we'll start with AJ Styles versus Gunther because that's where the big conversation is. I actually think CM Punk versus Finn Balor has some fascinating points to it as well. But essentially Gunther comes out, he's all happy because he beat AJ Styles by cheating. AJ Styles comes out and says, listen, Gunther, I know you've just declared for the Royal Rumble, but I want you one more time. Gunther is all like, yes, but I'm not going to pull double duty because I don't want to. To be honest, when he comes up with a great idea, well, if you put your career on the line, then we'll do it. And AJ Styles then spends the rest of Raw talking to his wife, apparently, when he decides that's what he's going to do. Brings up so many conversation points. One, I thought we'd have AJ Styles for most of 2026, so now I'm worried. I'm not ready to let AJ Styles go, as weird as that sounds. Shout out to the guy on social media who sent me one of the most offensive mess I ever got when I made a similar joke. But he is a Hall of Fame man. He is an all-time, and he is a game changer. But so many people now think this is a ruse, and it could be a ruse. The only way it can be a ruse, well, one of two things is going to happen. Gunther is going to retire AJ Styles, therefore he's retired. And then some people are like, but it'll be okay because they'll have a match in TNA, and that rhymes, so it must be true. Of course I want to see that. The fan Simon Miller, and 98% of me is totally cool with that. But my nerd side, which is more than 2%, but in these situations is 2, is that well, that then just ruins the retirement. If AJ Styles retire, we're all like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And then it's just a WWE retirement. I don't know. I mean, again, I would rather AJ Styles do whatever the flub AJ Styles wants to do. I'm just talking with my critical hat on. If AJ Styles wins this match, and then they go on to WrestleMania where they do it again, and the career's on the line again, well, that's not going to feel as important. It will still be massive, but you do lower the stakes, right? Imagine you're watching a movie, and someone's like, oh man, I got to kill you, and they killed the guy, and then you add the rest of the movie, like, we already killed the guy. That was a terrible analogy. I shouldn't have said that. But that's why my sort of leanings in my tum-tum are that AJ Styles may be retiring at the Royal Rumble. And let's not forget, he talked about this a lot in 2025, and he started off a story, I think, at the start of the year, and then he got injured, so I think he wanted to stretch it out a bit. Maybe that was 2024. It was a while ago. You were never going to do it last year because you can't get in the way of what John Cena is doing. So maybe he looked at the Royal Rumble and he decided, well, that's the time to do it. So he's going to do it there. I do not know. Listen, I could be wrong. I have no idea. This is just my inkling. I hope it's not. I hope I'm completely incorrect and we do continue on here. But what a fascinating story, especially because then you have the caveat. Can you really have Gunther lose this soon after retiring John Cena? I compare it to Brock Lesnar and defeating the streak, only because they got similar reactions, especially on social media. Even more so for Cena, given that we are in 2025 and that was 2014. I mean, I'm sure WWE's creative enough to come up with a way where it doesn't affect Gunther, but Brock obviously went on a massive streak, although again, you can argue he lost to Goldberg in November at Survivor Series, would have been May, June, July, August, September, October. It was still 7 months afterwards. Whereas we're like 6 weeks removed from John Cena. Isn't that crazy? Wasn't Mr. Cena right? Good grief, we move on so damn fast. The whole point is, moving into something like the Royal Rumble, you want to make sure the matches are not just the Royal Rumble bouts, have some stakes and have some stipulations and have some emotional connection. I thought WWE did that and then some, and you're probably arguing about it in the comments right now. What is the correct thing to do? Obviously, I think AJ Styles should go out the way that he wants to go out. Some people could say, well, he should go out at WrestleMania. But WrestleMania at the moment is still 4 months away. 3 months away, January, February, March. 3 months away. Why can't I do basic maths? I don't know. And why has this become me just counting months? I've done it twice now. But it's super intriguing and it's super interesting. And I didn't think WWE... I thought when Gunther and AJ Styles started looking at each other backstage after the John Cena retirement, it was just planting a seed. And maybe come SummerSlam we were going to do it. Or maybe do the Survivor Series. Or maybe AJ Styles will get his own special event. We are pulling the trigger on this. Meaning... I mean, I guess you could. I don't think it's Gunther versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. I really don't, because that's such a huge gap. You're telling me match 2 is going to be the end of January and match 3 is the middle of April? That seems very weird unless you're going to come up with something massive. But the poster's out. AJ Styles' career is on the line. So if that is not Royal Rumble chaos, if that is not Dr. Robotnik sponsored, I don't know what is. I really don't know what the right outcome is, because if Gunther wins, oh my gosh, he just retired AJ Styles after Goldberg and after John Cena. But if AJ Styles goes... It's like so quick and so sudden. I wasn't prepared for it, but AJ Styles knows more than anybody knows. And if John Cena's not going into the Hall of Fame in 2026, then AJ Styles should. Put them both in there, although they could both be main event headliners, whatever we're calling it. But what a great angle. And Gunther remains in a super interesting position as well. Some people like to act like he's not getting heat. He's getting heat from everywhere. But you need the follow-up. Of course you do. You could have him win the Royal Rumble. My prediction is, I've talked about this about 72 times, I think Brock Lesnar and Gunther are going to get into it because they see Brock Lesnar as such a big star that if you hint that it is going to be Gunther versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, that's almost bigger than winning the Royal Rumble. It's not, but you know what I'm saying. There are a few guys, much like The Undertaker did back in the day, that can fill that role. But it's true. Maybe we are living in the last 2 weeks of AJ Styles' WWE run and his entire career. And it is a nice bookend because, of course, he debuted 10 years ago at the Royal Rumble. So a decade in WWE is pretty damn good. And AJ Styles was a GOAT before then. But given what he did do, especially because he was fighting Vince McMahon, and AJ Styles has talked about this, you didn't get AJ Styles, just goes to show. One of a kind. I'm not going to call him phenomenal because obviously that would be dumb, but he is. As for CM Punk versus Finn Balor, what a terrific wrestling match this was. CM Punk now has had a few television world championship matches, and he just knows how to make them feel like a big deal. I really enjoy watching CM Punk do these. He has an old school feel about him, which I regret saying because it makes me sound like an absolute geek, but I think it's true. And Finn Balor, I said it on social media, I said it on Ups and Downs of What Culture, where I freelance for. Please do check out my review up there. It's more of a beat-by-beat rundown in case you can't watch the show. Finn Balor is one of the most underrated wrestlers going right now, maybe ever, in terms of his impact in the business and how he's always good. When did Finn Balor ever have a bad match, right? He came out to his original theme last night. I think we just continue this on. He's got momentum going back babyface. Although I completely refute this whole idea of, we wasted Finn Balor as a heel. He was great as a heel. He was awesome in the Judgment Day. He was funny. He had some major facial expressions. It's a shame we never pulled the trigger properly on the Dominic Mysterio stuff, although maybe that's what we do now. But it's not been a waste of time having Finn Balor as a heel. I completely, no, I'm not in my house. You can take that outside and talk to the other kids. This match was just so good. We've never seen it before. And obviously they're not in their prime of their careers. You could argue that, but they're still so flipping good. It does not matter. And when Finn Balor kicked out that first GTS, place went crazy. Of course they did. It's Balor country, kind of, technically. Let's not get into that conversation. That blew up the internet as well. Finn Balor knows what he's doing. He understands how to balance this out. But I get it too. It's a sensitive situation, as it should be. That stuff is important. I just thought this was awesome. The issue is, though, not the issue, the interesting part is, that's done now, right? Finn Balor's not going to get another shot at the Royal Rumble. That would make no sense. I think we have used this to start the Finn Balor face turn, which is what we should do. And, of course, we're about to get a disintegration of the Judgment Day anyway, because Liv Morgan's absolutely going to turn on Roxanne Perez at some point. I think we've made that clear. So what does CM Punk do at the Rumble? My prediction has always been that LA Knight comes back. The rumors now, always taken with a pinch of salt, is that he's going to be in the Rumble itself. But CM Punk is not going to have a match. So he's not going to be at the Royal Rumble. He has to be, one would presume. Or they don't always have world title matches. I don't know, but is Drew going to... Yeah, Drew is going to have a match. It could be Drew versus Sami Zayn. Maybe CM Punk doesn't have a match. I just think that's going to raise a lot of eyebrows. The WWE has done that before, but not at one of their big four pay-per-views. That's why I think LA Knight makes sense, because if he all of a sudden returned on next week's Raw, even though it's a short build, it ties into stories we've already told in 2025. That is one of the benefits when you do ensure you have long-term storytelling. You can go back and somebody could be like, hey, CM Punk, you've always been horrible to me. I do not like you. It's me, LA Knight, yeah. Although he also needs to beat up the Vision, because they're the people that took him out with the big tsunami. So we wait and see. But that's what I mean in terms of... It feels weird to me that we are on... Where's my date, please? I can't see it. Something's in the way. The 20th of January. So we're like, what? 10 days, 13 days. The Royal Rumble's a week Saturday, so around about 13 days from the Royal Rumble. And we have no idea who CM Punk is taking on. Of course, it's different for Drew McIntyre because we know we have Sunday Night's main event this Saturday and we're going to get that big old four-way. So I don't know. That to me is super duper interesting and maybe also ties into the fact that everybody came out and declared because WWE realized we really need to start promoting this. It's not so far away. So obviously Gunther is in it and Rhea Ripley's in it, Io Sky is in it, and all the Judgment Day are in it, and Jey Uso is in it. The Jey Uso thing is fine. It's a shame that we've hit pause on those Raw Tag Team belts, but that's not the Usos' fault. That's WWE's fault for everything they did in 2025. Big Jim is on paternity leave, and nothing is more important than that. I don't need WWE to do a big reset on the tag team division when Big Jim and Naomi are about to have their kid. That's number one. The rest is number two. Although we are going to have a number one contender match next week. So is that going to be a Royal Rumble match? Who's even going to be in it? I still think the long-term play, maybe even a short-term play, is Austin Theory and Bronson Reed, or Austin Theory and Logan Paul, a variation of the Vision, getting those tag team belts. But if it's a four-way, which I think is what Adam Pearce said, then you're going to have the New Day, because they were moaning about it on this show. It's probably going to be the War Raiders and the Creeds. It's always the War Raiders and the Creeds. It still needs some work, right? I don't know how we've got here. Well, I guess it ties into the Royal Rumble. Are we going to get a tag team title match? Don't know. However, there is more, given that the division have just come up, because we've lent very hard into this Bron Breakker stuff. Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce essentially fell out all evening. During the Vision's match against Penta Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio, which was awesome, by the way. It was so damn fun. Said it on Ups and Downs. A little bit like a party match. But we can't say that. People get mad. The whole point is that Adam Pearce is done with the Vision. He's done with Paul Heyman's antics, and he's not just going to let him go to ringside and get away with this. So there was some brass knucks, and Adam Pearce stopped that, which is when Ray grabbed it and just punched Austin Theory right in the face. Logan Paul gets booted, Canadian Destroyer, Mexican Destroyer on Austin 1, 2, 3. Don't understand why Austin Theory has fallen back into the exact same position he was before. He should just be a babyface. But of course, he could be Seth Rollins' mole. That's a great fantasy booking that somebody has come up with. I hope so. Because if this is what WW has him, down for, I don't think it's going to go far. Personally, I want it to. I like Austin Theory. He's got the goods. But listen, later on, after Paul Heyman got smacked with a microphone, go watch it online and make sure you go to TikTok later. Absolutely do one of my producing promos about that. If you don't know, it's when I pretend that I'm the WW backstage producer and I give people, production advice while they're doing their backstage promos. It's dumb, but I like dark humor as I absolutely smack my microphone. All right, Otis, now go back the beep. And the beep. Okay, Tozawa, now I need you to look at Maxine Dupree like she has the same face as that old woman who died in your hometown years ago that you thought was a ghost.
Because I finally believed in myself and I had to...
Somebody rang Adam Pearce and basically said, you need to talk to Bron Breakker next week, although we don't know who it was or what was exactly said. But there was a third segment between Pearce and the Vision where he was like, I need Bron Breakker here next week. We're going to have a discussion. And Paul Heyman was like, well, I know who phoned you. Blah, blah, blah. Now, who the flub is that going to be? Some people said The Rock. It's not going to be The Rock. That's absolutely mad. Somebody said Nick Khan, which would make no sense. In the real world, yes, this is not the real world. This is the real world of WWE. So I have no idea who is that meant to be. I'm worried that WWE is never going to address this, and it's going to be a magical phone call. But we've always been presented as, Triple H sometimes has been above Adam Pearce, but nobody else. So maybe Triple H is going to be involved. I don't know. But I think this has to be tying into whatever we're going to do with Bron Breakker at WrestleMania. Are we going to do something between Adam Pearce and Bron Breakker? That wouldn't be at WrestleMania, but could that be a Royal Rumble match? Could that be an Elimination Chamber match? Could it be a match on Raw just to try and get some ratings or whatever you want to call it? It kind of feels like we're heading in that direction. And we teased it with Roman Reigns years ago as well. And both Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis have wrestling experience. You have to imagine one day we're going to do it. I mean, Pat McAfee did it, of course, last year with Gunther. So that's interesting, but I like it. I think it's going to tie into the Rumble because, of course, Bron Breakker could win the Rumble this year. A lot of strange goings on with Roman Reigns. I mean, it's just sort of whispers. But he's not back on the television show yet. So is he even going to be at the Rumble? We do not know. So Bron Breakker absolutely is a front runner. So how does he get back on TV? How do we reintroduce him? And of course, that is going to tie into WrestleMania as well. Because whatever his comeback does tie into, especially at the Royal Rumble, is then instantly going to tell you, WWE needs to come out with the Royal Rumble saying, this is what we're going to do at the Chamber, and this is what we're going to do at WrestleMania. So we can start getting exciting about it. So all the seeds have been planted, not all of them, but a lot of seeds have been planted for the Royal Rumble, which is good. I think Bron Breakker is going to be a huge part of that show. We should keep an eye on it. Talked about Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. They came out and said they'll be in the Rumble because, of course, their tag team match is at Sunlight's main event. This is the first time I've enjoyed having two of these shows so close together because I don't want the women's tag championships to vanish, but of course they have to be in the Rumble. They're star power people. When Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez comes out, Liv Morgan obviously had a very choice line. She's going to turn on you, Io Sky, because Rhea Ripley turned on me because Liv Morgan's going to turn on Roxanne Perez. And because Stephanie Vaquer was vacant this evening, all the Judgment Day women beat these people up, and they're all in the Royal Rumble too. So that is good. The actual best segment with females on this show was between Kairi Sane and Asuka. I haven't seen anybody talking about this. It only lasted 45 seconds. They are too good at this because Asuka was being so horrible. And Kairi Sane was like, I'm sorry. I'll even win the Royal Rumble for you. And let's not forget, it was Asuka that got pinned to lose those championships. It needs more love. It's terrific. And it made me feel awful in the way that it was meant to. And of course, we had Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupree with Natalya turning on Maxine Dupree. This was hilarious. I can't help it. I watch wrestling with a joy in my step. The fact that Natalya turned up just told you what was happening. I think Natalya probably should have turned up 2 weeks ago. Does it matter? No. Don't think the finish was necessarily executed well too. With Becky Lynch going, and putting Becky Lynch's foot on the rope after she'd hit in the big old kick after Becky had gone into Tina the turnbuckle that was exposed. The referee would have seen this, but this is much of a muchness. The point is, Maxine Dupree gets beaten. Natalya turns heel. It feels like it's more of the Natalya we saw in Bloodsport, which we've wanted for ages in WWE. They can have a feud. Natalya is brilliant. Again, absolutely underrated. We don't talk about her enough. And of course, Maxine Dupree is only going to get better having matches with Natalya because Natalya is super duper good. So that was a happening, and it's nice to have a happening on these shows. And now Becky Lynch can go on to probably to be in the Royal Rumble, where I think AJ Lee will return and throw her out, and that will be the match we do at the Elimination Chamber. Not that it could be the Elimination Chamber, but we'll probably hold it off to WrestleMania. So it was good, you see, and a lot of it is now forward-facing. I think, especially last week, there wasn't that much chat about the Royal Rumble, but now we're on the pathway to the Royal Rumble, which leads the road to WrestleMania and the passageway to the Elimination Chamber or something like that. Sounds like a euphemism. I do not mean it to. And apparently Javon Evans is okay. He had a match with El Grande Americano, and he stopped the match, but then it came out later. We do not know. We wait and see that he's fine. Such a big advocate for that. Some people go, it ruined the flow of the match. Who cares? It doesn't. It happens like once in a blue moon. And maybe the fact Javon Evans was able to stop it is the reason it didn't get worse. If he had worked through it, he'd be out for 6 months. Nobody needs that. I think that first time I said this was years ago when Samoa Joe got busted open. They were trying to wipe blood off his face, which people didn't like. I understood that Samoa Joe didn't like that. We know that it's not real in the sense, I hate saying that, but you know what I mean? Of course it's real, but it's predetermined sport. So let's absolutely take advantage of that. As long as Javon Evans is okay. This is his big break, you can argue. Right? It's his big push on the main roster. You do not want that to go away. If it did go away, it would suck. This is way better. Because listen, I love El Gran Americano, but nobody is ever going to remember this flubbing match. Also got the big Oba Femi video, which I'm very, very excited about now. Of course, this absolutely ties into the Royal Rumble. They are waiting for the Royal Rumble till they bring him back. Of course they are. And he's not going to win, and therefore he needs to throw out at least 10 people. I usually say like 47 people as a joke, unless it's the greatest Royal Rumble. He needs to throw out at least 10. It's got to be double digits. I believe the record is 14 or 15. If you want Oba Femi to defeat that, you can. It's very hard, though, because, of course, there's only 30 people in the Rumble. But he could come out early. It depends who is going to be in this. He's another guy. I don't think it's going to be a Brock Lesnar. I don't think it's going to be a Gunther. We need to find somebody in that pack that is so interesting. So even when Oba Femi is eliminated, probably by about 12 people, we can go, oh man, but he had that beef with whoever. I can't even think who it could be right now. So I'm excited, and I'm not disappointed that he got thrown out of the Royal Rumble because we're going to get this at WrestleMania. And it's all about the marquee. It's all about the match card. I still think Oba Femi should be in the WrestleMania main event this year. Why wait on ceremony, Mr. Wayne? That's how good I think he is. But there's ways and means to do this, and WWE certainly has their style, but I'm excited about it, and I like the fact that of all the call-ups, he's the one that's gotten all the videos. I think we could have had more fun with the rest of them, but we didn't, so let's not cry over spilt milk. But I'm pumped for this. I'm excited, and the videos are flipping cool, man. Unlike that Dominic Mysterio one. If you know, you know. I'm not going to talk about it. And that was essentially Raw. As always, some of the comments go, Simon, you didn't talk about this. This is meant to be a nice chat that we have, as if you were just hanging out with your friends. I liked it, though. It helped that the crowd, it was awesome. They were so damn loud, and they popped for everything. And in the main event, everybody played their role. They enjoyed CM Punk's entrance because he's a superstar, but then they booed him, which did allow Punk to play heel a little bit. I actually think he's better as that character, but I understand he's CM Punk. He's got legacy pops, as he should have. And it's one of those awesome moments as well, where even though Finn Balor lost, he'll be better for it, as long as we do capitalize on this and probably take him back heel. The Judgment Day, to me, should split up at the Royal Rumble. You don't need to prolong it anymore. We essentially prolonged it for the entirety of 2025, and I think Finn Balor should be put into more of a highlighted spot here, maybe as the Intercontinental Champion, but let's just break him out a little bit more and have some fun with it, but we wait and see. Otherwise, though, yes, decent Raw, enjoyed it. I don't have super Royal Rumble hype yet, but we have Friday, we do have Saturday night's main event, and we've got Raw next week, and of course the SmackDown the night before, so WWE has plenty of time. It does kind of feel to me like in the past they would ramp it up sort of 3 weeks to a month out, but it's much of a muchness again. We do wait and see. I think it should be a pretty good Royal Rumble. Now, of course, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click that notification bell as well, super important. You can click the video on the screen, which is me reacting to Maven, reacting to one of my matches. So it's a super YouTube video, but my gosh, was I honored by that. When you are down there as well, there'll be links from patreon.com/Simon316 and grillermind.com/Simon. These are fitness supplements that I recommend because they're good, and I'm affiliated with them, and I wouldn't if I didn't want to promote them. Simon316 on social media. Otherwise, it is Cameo, it's TikTok, and Pro Wrestling Tees if you'd like to support me there as well. Otherwise, keep enjoying wrestling because it is the most important of the least important things, and I will see you throughout the week.